on. But anyway, here we are, and good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So typically, everybody in the academy, this would be the time when we would come to the end of our week, and what we would do is we would typically talk about a lesson that we've been studying that week. We'd be talking about our wins for the week. So please feel free to share your wins into the chat, everybody over in the academy. And for everybody who's tuning in the 7 levels of awareness, either watching live or catch up, please comment and let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from, how everything has been going for you throughout the magic book. We've been hearing, as I said, we've been hearing really, really good comments back privately, and some nice public comments as well. So it'd be lovely to hear from you today. It's for us, Thursday is kind of our wrap-up day for the week, so it has that feeling to it somehow at 8 o'clock on a Thursday morning. It somehow has that feeling that we're kind of wrapping up the week. So let's we will be here tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow at 1 to do our Magic Book Day 12, which is really good. We're getting close to the halfway mark already. But today is a lovely one, a magical morning. So my morning this morning started bright and early with my own study, and then after that, there was a few things. As I said to my wife this morning, I've been disturbed by dogs and daughters. So I really like to get a nice long meditation in, and I had dogs disrupting me. And then one little daughter came up with a sore throat about 6 o'clock, and I was like, okay, and paused my meditation and give her little syrup for her throat, and then back to bed. And then about 20 minutes later, her older sister pops in. I was like, okay, there's a message coming here. Let's do something else. However, that's magical. We've got a lovely house, we've got lovely doggies, lovely healthy children, thanks be to God. So that's a magical morning. You see, you can look at it, you can be so grateful for it, or you could just say, I was trying to meditate now and my day is going to be this and that. So that's how it goes. I read a book years ago called The Green Platform by a very good man, Declan Coyle is his name. And in The Green Platform, he just talks about that. Like, you get up in the morning and you stand on a piece of Lego, and you either go, flip it, they never clean up the Lego, or, you kind of think about all of the decades ahead of you where those 3 children won't be playing Lego and leaving it on the floor after them. They'll be long gone, and you'll be praying and looking forward to them coming back once in a while. So it's your attitude, it's how you choose the day to go and how you want it to be. And that's one of our little taglines in the academy: how do I want it to be? Which brings me back onto gratitude. I got a lovely prototype. What would you call it? A prototype? No, not a prototype. There's a word for it there where you I got a lovely hoodie from Patricia with her wonderful company. You probably saw Ernestine's mug with all of the affirmations down on the side. I got a mug as well, actually, but my wife made my coffee this morning in a regular mug. But I've got a lovely metal mug with loads of affirmations down the side, and then we got a nice branded hoodie. It's absolutely beautiful material, Patricia, wherever you're sourcing. I know it's ethically sourced. My goodness, that's one of the nicest hoodies I've ever put on. It's just beautiful. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to chatting to you about that. But as I said, you have your. I'm grateful for throughout the rest of the day and how it all goes. So let's look at the magic morning. Let's read a few comments here quickly before we get into that. We've got Sharon saying good morning. Hello, Sharon Dolan. How are you? Yvonne says hello. I was thinking of you this morning, Yvonne, actually, as I was filling up all of our water jugs. I got a lovely water machine from Yvonne. It's called a Kengan water machine. And I was away actually last week, and there was a lot of cups of tea had in a lot of different houses. And the minute I drink a cup of tea now in a different house that's not made with that pure water, it just doesn't add up. A pub, a restaurant, a cafe, it just doesn't have the same thing. So everything, the kids' water bottles, everything's full of this. It's it's a wonderful machine. It actually takes water from any source and it brings it through, and you are drinking like well water at the end, which is, it's got that moreish kind of a taste, which water should be like. I remember myself and my friend Dan used to climb down the side of a hill to this fella. He had a well, and we were cheeky little young lads, and we'd be like out of the well, and he might the odd time go, get out of here. I'm sure nowadays, of course, he'd be worried like, they're giving me coronavirus. But we'd go down, and I remember scooping the water into my hands and drinking it. I said, the water never tastes like this, it's so good. But it does now. So there's Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne. Kira's here. Good morning. Mine is the same. Sarah Jane, good morning, everyone. Grateful to be here today. Aoife says, good morning, everyone. So grateful for my health. I'm hearing that word an awful lot in our calls and in emails and things like that. Really grateful. So I'm loving that this is. So actually, it was Sinead yesterday, actually, Aoife, I spoke to, and I realized she mentioned the word grateful a lot in our conversation. Grateful for my health. speedy recovery and won't be taking it for granted anymore. Well, that's beautiful, Aoife. And oh yeah, so it's a good few days since you got your little knockout. So good to hear you're on the way back. Juliet, good morning all. So grateful for the dry weather this morning, the time and grace this morning to be out under the stars for an hour with healthy, happy, furry family before I started my study. Oh, listen to this. And a shooting star o'clock. Wow. Very nice. Morning. Grateful that my cough is going. Good morning, Denise. And good morning, all. I've had an amazing week. I got myself a great accountability partner in the academy and made owning my life accountability partner. Someone I spoke to 6 months ago came back to me yesterday, joined my team, and already I've done my meditation, my gratitude journaling, the 6 a.m. club, a HIIT workout, and a stretch routine, and it's only 8 o'clock. Very, very good. And Denise is here as well. So grateful to be here. Good morning, Denise. Claire Ford, top of the morning to everyone. So happy to be grateful to be here. Looking forward to a day of blessings and gratitude. As Louise Hay used to say, only good lies ahead. That's a very nice way to look at it. It's the only way to look at it. It's all good. Okay, so good. We have a nice bunch of viewers over on the Facebook side of things as well. So let us know how you're all doing, everyone over on Facebook. And let's get into the magic morning. You would think almost that this could be day one as well. I like how she's done that. It's put in here to
little
today.
Things, the little interaction.
Sorry, no, my dear, you've got to go. I'm going to leave this on. That's Deirdre Reardon that said that. Grateful to be here this morning. Well, we're grateful to have you as well. And thank you for your lovely message yesterday. Okay, so magic morning. I think an awful lot of our clients like to study first thing in the morning. I think the personal development world in general, one of the first things when I literally, for those of you who don't know, it was like almost like a crisis. It was 2013 and I was at home. I was kind of looking after my little boy. My wife was working and I wasn't at the time. We made the decision that I would do the home help that I would do the stay-at-home dad, the being the parent that stayed at home and looked after the kids because we were hoping to leave Galway in 9 months and would I reopen a clinic again and all that sort of stuff. So we made a decision. If we weighed up the cost of childcare and stuff. So I stayed at home for a year and it was great. But, you know, I've been productive in working and always involved in something since I was about 13 or 14, like washing pots in hotels or whatever it was. And I really wasn't used to not having money coming in. And especially now with a wife and 2 children, at that time, I felt a lot of pressure and I had no mindset training or anyone I could really feel I could talk to about how I was feeling. And because you're a dad now and you're a husband now and you've got to be strong and you can't open up. And for a fella who can cry at a movie or for a fella who's pretty out there now, I was the only time I would show my emotions was happy ones and the rest of it was pretending, you know. So it was in a house in Athenry that I literally just, I don't know, something kind of said to me, just go onto YouTube there has to be something. And I just typed in, there was an ad years ago and you managed to say you have to have positive mental attitude. And that just came to my mind. So I typed in positive mental attitude and hit enter and up popped Bob, but there was about 10 other people on screen. But somehow I picked him. Like there was, you know, these thumbnail images of lions roaring and bodybuilders lifting weights. And for some reason, Bob's 1980s outfit and the, I don't know why I just clicked on that. And maybe it was the comments, maybe it was the few words. But when I clicked on that, everything really started to change. And one of the first things I did was I cut out the habits of the most successful people. I remember cutting it out and putting it on my wall. And around 2 days later, a friend of mine said, I love being in the 5 a.m. club. And one of the habits was they get up early. Now, we were getting up early, but it wasn't the same. We were getting up early because the children were waking or they were teething or they needed nappy changing or June had to get out to work or we got up early because that's what people do. And I remember I'd go into Dylan's room and our little routine was I'd put his two little pudgy feet up on the windowsill and we'd open the curtains and he'd put his hands up on the window and I'd hold on to him. Like the window would never fall out, but just in case. And we'd watch all the people going to work and we'd be, look at the trucks and look at the buses. And that was our little routine in the morning. But that wasn't the same as the magical mornings that you're hearing from the likes of Juliet or from Anne there. You know, the magical morning is, I mean, what a productive, I think that's one of the main turning points that we see in the academy is they're becoming very, very productive very early. And if you're not really working in personal development on a full-time basis at the moment, that might even sound off-putting. It's like my days are flipping tired enough then to be becoming productive in the morning. Like the morning is where I ease myself into the day. Well, they're actually doing both. They are easing themselves into the day, but they're waking up and there's just this you don't have to wait till 11 o'clock to what did the monkeys say in the song? Wipe the sleep out of my eyes, sleep, cheer up, sleepy Jean, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. You seem to just get up and get productive, have a study, have a coffee, have a little walk out in nature or whatever. But they're getting tuned in. Listen to that clip you heard me listening to when I turned on my phone. There was a lady, a kind of a business mentor, and she was talking about your North Star. That regardless of what's going on in your business, always go back. What about my North Star? Like, what is my guiding light? Why am I doing any of this? If there's a little bump in the road here, what am I actually doing in the long term? So people who get up in the morning early and it becomes a new habit, they have a magical morning. So it's a very easy adjustment to make. But I think ultimately, when you have that North Star, you'll buy into the idea that a magical morning is something you deserve, is something that's very important for you. And look, you see them yourself. We've all been in larger work environments. I work at home and by myself. Typically, our team are all virtual. It's all online. But, I have been in offices and staff rooms and things. And you can see the person that comes in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to take on the world. And you can see the person who's probably gone out of one outfit and into another and just come from the night out into work. You can tell them a mile off, and for the rest of the day you can still tell it a mile off, because they're just going to be more. One person seems to get better, and the other person seems to get more tired. But I think that's becoming more and more rare, really, now, to see that. You don't really see people like that anymore. People are typically they know the kind of standards you must have when you're showing up for work and stuff like that. So this is something that is a real gift to yourself, a magical morning. A magical morning is something that's a gift to those around you. People, maybe not everyone in your house has to wake up in a good mood, but if you're in a good mood, you won't be long bringing them around. When anyone's in a bad mood, you can tell if everybody else is in an okay mood or a good mood. That one person in a bad mood can take the energy out of the room as well. So be the change you want to see in the workplace, be the change you want to see in your home life, and maybe consider making your mornings all very magical. So when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, and to love. And that's from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. The easiest and simplest way to ensure that your day ahead is going to be filled with magic is to fill your morning with gratitude. When you incorporate gratitude into your morning routine, you will feel and see its magical benefits throughout the whole day. Each morning, it is full of opportunities to give thanks, and it doesn't slow you down or take any extra time. And that's what I've been mentioning a moment ago. You'll find that it becomes a habit. It doesn't take that much extra time, because you will do it naturally as you go about everything that you do. There's an added bonus to filling your morning with gratitude, because your daily routines are the times when you can harm yourself the most by thinking negative thoughts without realizing you're doing it. So, going to the clothesline, picking up the stuff around the rooms after the children. I see a lot of people now, I call to houses, or you'd be chatting with people and you'd hear the way they talk about how they go about their days. And nowadays, and I said to June, like, we need to be aware of it as well, because there is something, when somebody's got earphones in, they are kind of plugged out from the house a little bit, you can hear them having a little laugh to themselves or whatever. Now, this is not a new phenomenon. We had Walkmans in the 1980s, we had people walking around, but you are a little bit disconnecting from everybody else in the house when you're doing that. But, we're a hands-on kind of a couple. June and I, we do a lot of cleaning and tidying and, lunches and breakfasts and all that stuff. And sometimes I'll need to listen to I want to listen to some voice notes from clients, or from some of my colleagues, or from some of my mentors. Or I might want to listen to something that, I'll see, oh, you got to hear this webinar, it's amazing, or something like that. So I'll pop in the earphones. But when you're going about your day, you can be listening to really good stuff as well, instead of maybe some of the stuff that is not at all relevant to how your day is going to go, which is, for example, the news first thing in the morning, deaths and sadness and pressure on the health system, and, all that stuff. You can have that playing in the radio in the corner in the kitchen, and everyone's listening to what's going on then on the national news. Or, you can be doing other bits and pieces, and you can be perhaps listening to your affirmation over and over. You could be listening to something that inspires you. You probably have some people this morning doing just that. You're picking up the pajamas and putting them under their pillow and going around making sure that the lights turned off, and making sure they got their lunches ready and in the school bags, and are the shoes still full of muck from last night, or are they all clean and before they go to school, and they don't make a show of you? So you can be listening to something really positive as well as you're going about your day, because what that does is it counteracts when you're just doing mundane tasks. Our mind can wander, and it can often wander to the negative, or to the worry, or to the fearful, or to the what ifs. But when you're really intentionally being I'm grateful for this toothbrush. I'm grateful for the dentist that keeps my teeth lovely and clean, and my whole mouth and jaw and all that pain free. I'm grateful that I have this sink and the fresh running water that I can brush my teeth in. When you start intentionally bringing gratitude into your life, you'll as a kind of a side effect, which is actually a direct effect, you'll turn down all the negatives. Each morning is full of opportunities to give extra thanks, and it does slow you down, or it doesn't slow you down. One moment. It doesn't slow you down or take any extra time, because you can do it naturally as you go about everything you do. There is an added bonus to filling your morning with gratitude, because your daily routines are the times when you can harm yourself the most by thinking negative thoughts without realizing you're even doing it. There are no room for harmful negative thoughts when your mind is focused on looking for things to be grateful for. After this practice, you will go into your day feeling much happier and much more confident that the day ahead will be great. And that's when you will see the magic happen before your eyes. So let's go to what exactly Rhonda Byrne wants us to do today. And every day from here on in with the magic morning. When you wake up on the new day, before you do a single thing, say the magic words, thank you. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's passed on, as Bob says, he's gone now, God bless him, my dear friend Wayne Dyer. But I saw a movie, it was an interesting movie by him a few years ago. Wayne Dyer, let me just type it in, because I wouldn't mind sharing the name of that with you. YouTube. My laptop is really slow. I think it's had its time, or we'll see what needs to be done to it, but it really has served me very well. But now it's taking slow. That's why it took a while to come on this morning. Rightio, let's have a little look here. What's his name again? Wayne. B-Y-E-R. Wayne Dyer movie. The Shift. Yeah, it's a very interesting movie. A movie by Wayne Dyer called The Shift. I remember kind of stumbling on it years ago, and I'd like to watch it again, actually. It's all these different couples coming to hang out at a retreat, and it's almost like what's happening before the retreat starts, but there's so much happening before it starts. You're in the movie before you even know it. I think it was along the lines of The Secret, but it's really good. It's a really, really good movie. But in the movie, you'll see he gets out of bed and he puts his hands on his, he sits at the side of the bed and he put his hands on. He goes, thank you. Thank you. And he really got into it. And this was before I'd seen the magic word, or the magic book, I should say, or really knew anything about the power of gratitude. In fact, I think I really only got to know the real power of gratitude in this particular office. I came in here one day, and I used to always do videos for my colleagues and show them the progress of the build, or for the clients, I do a Facebook Live talking about how amazing it is to be here and how hard it was to get, to even make this happen a year ago and stuff like that. And I remember being in here one day and feeling a little bit of a chill and kind of going, oh, flipping hell, I'm out of the equation now. The bank is sorting out the mortgage. I just called the solicitor and say, look, we need to draw down 30 grand or 40 grand or whatever it is. She says, no problem. Contact CBS. They draw it down to the solicitor's account. She sends it to my account or the builder's account. The engineer comes along and signs off on certain sections. And this man here, apart from picking out doors and tiles and washing machines and stuff, me and June were out of the equation. My dream was becoming a reality. And now I realized I was without a goal. I realized I was feeling very empty and confused and not knowing what it was. And I contacted some people, and one of them said to me, well, two things. Number one, you got to get into gratitude, because you're not looking around being grateful for everything you have. You're saying what's missing, what's lacking. And the second thing he got me to do was just get back into my purpose, get back into that North Star. Like, what am I doing? What's next, But of those two lessons, the gratitude one woke me up. He was like, read chapter 7 in Science of Getting Rich over and over and over and over. And I did. And I started talking to some people about it. And then somebody was like, oh, you should do the magic book. So then I did the magic book. And I remember going into a cafe in Carsabine. Cafe Sabine has now just been reopened as a different name. And I remember going in with this is the one I used. And I remember June couldn't get a word in edgeways, because I was like, which happens sometimes in our house. But I was like, she came home from Killarney, and I said, you have to stop and meet me for lunch before you go home, because I was working in town at the time. And I was like, and this is happening, and that's happening, and I'm on day 14, and I feel amazing. And it really opened my eyes to the power of gratitude. Yeah, the shift. Thanks, Anna. It really opened my eyes to the power of gratitude. And when I got up this morning, June was this side of me. Dylan had scampered in the middle of the night. He was that side of me. And I just went instantly into gratitude, like instantly into gratitude. It is just like we have a wonderful team. I've been meeting them at 11 o'clock. There's myself. There's a large team, and then we've a small little team we've had for a year before we grew out the team. So we still meet just to decide about how everything's going. Laura, Ernestine, Dusan, Yelena, myself, and Megan, and we meet every Monday and every Thursday for a chat, and there's never a problem. But if there is, the first thing I would go to is gratitude. I'm so grateful that they're in the company, and I'm so grateful, and then we just deal with it. You know, it's gratitude is like yesterday. You sprinkle the magic dust over everything. I look behind me here, and I could see, that's annoying now that book is kind of fallen over, or else I could say I'm so grateful for that book because it's called The 5 Love Languages, and that's the deluxe elite version. That's even in its own wrapper, and I'm grateful for that because that's myself and June we're happy, and it's even taken us to a happier place. Then I look at this and I can see I'm so grateful for Aggie and her beautiful family and her husband who made this for me. You know, you can find gratitude in everything. And when you wake up first thing in the morning and you start your day with, I mean, that's a win already. You know, you've woken up. This is good. This is a good thing. My granny, God rest her, went to sleep, didn't wake up. My brother, God rest him, went to sleep and didn't wake up. Waking up first thing in the morning, you're on to a winner straight away. It's really good. So when you wake up in the morning, before you do a single thing, say the words, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and just do it. It's so good. From the moment you open your eyes until you finish getting ready, say the magic words, thank you. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for the iron. Thank you for the everything. Thank you for the electricity to power the iron. Thank you for was it Harvey Norman for having the shop where I bought the iron. All right, then you go and count your blessings. So now you're going to be kind of, even before you get to your journal, to write your blessings. Maybe your journal is on your bedside locker next to your rock, and maybe you get straight into it. But if it's in your office or if it's in your living room or whatever, as you're going down the stairs, think about the people who put the carpet on the stairs, perhaps the banister, who built the house, who sold you the house, who rents you the house. I'm so grateful as you're going downstairs, and then you pick it up, and I'm grateful for the coffee. The coffee beans didn't come from Carlo. You know, they probably came a long way. So grateful for the pilots that brought it, the farmers that farmed it, the delivery people, everything, the people that made the big sacks that they put the beans into. There's no end to the gratitude you can do. Count your blessings, make a list of 10 blessings and write down why you're grateful for them. I hope everybody's still remembering that one, because I think after a while people just list 10 and they forget to write down why. I think it's very important you write down why you're grateful as well. Reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. Just before you go to bed tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the absolute best thing that has happened during that day. Now, when I go back, I'm going to go back to read a little bit more about the magic morning, but it was yesterday, or it was the day before. It was about hundredfold. It was about sprinkling magic dust. It was the more you think about something, when you send good to somebody, it's like it comes back to you 100-fold. That's what's happening. You hear like the words there of Aoife and other people, grateful for everything, grateful, grateful. It's showing up everywhere. It's becoming a new habit now. You know, if I think back to probably there hasn't been too many difficult moments in 2021, but the ones that have, it's like the Japanese bowl, you know, it's cracked and then it's sealed up again with gold. So it's like the bowl is made better because it got the crack in it. You know, some of the difficulties we go through when we're stretching and we're going to the next level, it's the death of an old version of you and the birth of a new version of you. And the old version of you was somebody who succumbed to the pressure of a situation, but because of your new goal, because of your new guiding star, you don't succumb to that anymore. And all of a sudden, boom, it's a new Sarah Dine. Boom, it's a new Claire Ford. Boom, it's a new Adele Mullen. You know, it's like, I'm dealing with it, but hang on now. I've got this course. I got this mentor. I got this team. I got the 6 a.m. club. What would they tell me to do? What would I do instead? And then breakthrough. Now you'll never succumb to the doubt, fear, and worry that you're used to around that situation or around a situation like that. So gratitude is going to when you go through like those video games, you're going through from platform to platform and you're picking up different weapons or different charms or whatever it may be. As you're going through personal development, you're picking up different things along the way. And this one, I would like gratitude. I would like for you to have it in place as like a constant, like that it's not something that we're doing for 28 days, but it becomes a constant, because probably one of the most impactful lessons in the academy is lesson 9, the attitude lesson, because it is a magic word. When you think about how you want it to be, you'll focus and your brain will only look for the way to attract that outcome. But how do I want it to go? Yeah, I know this is the way every other restaurant goes. I know the way every other salon goes, but how do I want it to go? We got Dee there. I love her goal in the lady in Limerick, with her goal with the hair salons and helping her colleagues around Ireland and around the world. And that's it's an original idea, and I really love it. I'm really excited by it, and I believe in it. And I believe in it because of her belief in it, and that type of an energy is part of lesson 9, the magic word. Bob was in a mastermind with 2 men, Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield. And there was 5 or 6 of them sitting around the table. And then they started talking about, they were like, we're going to create a book and it's full of personal development stories. And we're going to come up with a name. We're thinking something that's nice and warm and yummy, like, chicken soup, but for your soul rather than for your body. And he's like, chicken soup for the soul. That's funny, says Bob. And they're like, well, Bob, you're the man who's got all the testimonials and all the stories. Can we have some stories? And he's like, sure, I'll introduce you to some people. And they're like, what's the goal, guys? And he's like, we're going to sell 1 million. And he laughed. And Bob went away from that meeting going, they're delusional. And I've seen him say it himself. He held his hand up. He says, I will never, ever again doubt an idea that's been given to another human being. After that, he says, I will never again doubt it. Now, he was probably 35 years working in personal development at that stage. 35 years disciplining himself from being an alcoholic who was broke to getting to be one of the, the most sought after corporate speakers and coaches, to doubting his friends in his mastermind, but it's silly to do that. If the idea has come to them, then it's come to them to bring it to reality. And he learned that day, I think they sold over 50 million before they sold the franchise. There's chicken soup for the golfer, chicken soup for the mom, chicken soup for the this, chicken soup for the that, chicken soup for the marriage. It's incredible franchise. And it came from one idea. It's just like Dee's idea. Think of the way it can all go. So lesson 9, the magic word, is how do we always say, how do I want it to go? So you can clearly see your paradigm is using your conscious mind to go, yeah, but look at everything your mom and dad and everybody that went before you didn't do. So why do you think you're the one that can do it? And look over here at the you're going to need money for this. It's a pandemic. You're going to need a business premises. You need customers. But how? So your paradigm kind of goes into shock mode. It's like, hang on a minute, I'm in charge. He can't do this to us. And it gets all. That's probably like a way too much animated exaggeration. I don't think it's like you've got these 2 egos or these alter egos going on, or that everybody who does this is some kind of a schizophrenic in some way. But we do have a doubtful voice that we can go, no, why? Wonderful messages yesterday from our dear friend Claire, and I chatted to her afterwards. Like, I asked Claire to do exactly what I did myself when I was running my acupuncture clinic, and it was to look in the mirror and repeat, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 5 wonderfully happy clients every single day. That was mine. I don't know I can't remember yours exactly, Claire, but it was a certain amount of money per month or a certain amount of clients served per month. I remember passing that on to you as well, Denise. If you're a coach or a healer or anybody, you're a beautician or you've a hair salon or anybody who relies on clients and having, a number of clients per day, you might be a coach who does like hourly sessions and you want 5 hours of coaching a day and you charge per hour. This is a really good way to do it. You look in the mirror and you repeat the affirmation you want, and you make sure that you're buzzing. Like we're going to be going on holiday soon, and Dylan was counting the days, and you could see June is like, he's buzzing. It's a buzz. It's like woo. It's a real buzz to you. So what I do to get the buzz going, because that's how lesson 9 works. You think about how you want it to be, you feel into it, and then you're vibrating out what you want, and that's attracting back what you want. So the law of vibration is the primary law, and the law of attraction is the secondary law. So you vibrate out and attract back, and it's pretty instant as well. So I used to unemotionally look in the mirror with my goal card and go, so happy and grateful now that 5 clients every single day. So happy and grateful now that 5 clients every single day. So happy and grateful now that 5 clients, and nothing was happening. In the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about the ALQA formula that says, in every day and every way, I'm getting better and better. And he said, unless no emotion has been attached to that, there'll be no result. So I got into that. I was like, how do I get emotional about it? And I love numbers 3, 6, and 9 from Nikola Tesla. I love that whole concept of those numbers. Writing out things 3 times, 6 times, and 9 times a day, and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of fun. It's quite interesting to research it. But 3 was a good thing. I'll do it 3 times into the mirror, 3 times a day, and away we go. So I'd look in the mirror and I now that I have 5 wonderfully happy clients every single day, and then I'd go, yes, like that. I'd celebrate. Now we have 3 children, so I would celebrate the moment that the doctors and the nurses and the midwives and everybody there made June and I aware that everything was okay with the baby, and that June was okay, and that we were, it was a big relief for everybody. And I think about that, and I think about the moment I saw her for the first time, and I go, yes. And it goes up and down my body, out my shoulders, down my arms, everywhere. I can still do it. I can do it about more recent things to do with our team, or to do with a client result or something. And I could think about, like, I got a beautiful card from a lady this week, and I read it out yesterday in an announcement in the academy. And I can think of that now, and I can think of her before, during, currently, after, where she's headed. You can do it for the future as well, and you can go, yes, you can get all excited. So that vibration changes, and that magic somehow starts to attract everything towards us. And for you guys who are in the academy, and you're sowing, and I'm not meaning like sprinkling, you are sowing gratitude into your being now. And I hope that you'll do it. Wayne Dyer used to have another big lecture about I am, the power of the I am. And he used to, driving through Los Angeles, on one side you'd see someone doing amazing charity work, and you'd say, I am that. And on the other side you could see the build up to a homicide, and he's like, I am that plane in the sky, I am that flower in the flower bed. And he just talked about connecting to everything, and then he talked about really connecting to himself with the words of love. And this is where he used to talk: love and positivity and kindness and goodness, and attract more goodness. That's the way he used to talk. He used to do this with his hands. So the magic word and the magic book will come lovely together for you. But imagine if you went back to lesson 1 again, everybody, and you started writing out your C-type goal, and you started doing it from a place of absolute gratitude. I think it takes us to another level, and it takes us to a place where you're playing with life as if you're going to win every time. And that is a pretty awesome way to live. It's like, what about if I do win, though? What about if I can win? What about if I go for this and it works? What about if everything that I go for works? How would I approach it if I knew it was going to work? Would I approach it differently? And I think gratitude brings us up onto that new level very quickly. I think it fast tracks us up onto a new level of attraction. So let's read through some more. Adele. Hello, Adele. She says, good morning, all. I notice the autumn leaves every year, but this autumn, Mother Nature is giving a spectacular show on the trees in my workplace. I breathe the color in each time. My God, that's a beautiful turn of phrase. I breathe the color in each time. That's beautifully written. I'm outside the building, thus really, this really is one thing that fills my soul and brings joy. Have a lovely day, everyone. You too. Sharon says, before you ditch the laptop, check that there isn't an update trying to run in the background. This happened to me a few weeks ago. You have to go in and stop it running. Okay, cool. I also believe in Dee's idea. Unbelievable. Such a great, your Psycho Sprint partners. That's awesome. Juliet says, since we started this process, so much magic has happened. In my big difficulty these days is deciding which is the very best thing to be thankful for. Oh, that's good. That's a good complaint. The plethora of gorgeous good things going on. Wink. Well, wink right back at you. That's pretty awesome. Okay, let's go here now. I packed my bags and now I know my freedom. All right, we'll have a little. Oh yeah, everybody knows The Shift. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that a lot of people knew that movie. I must watch it again. I'm gonna show you something. Last week in Athenry, I took the children to see the house that I started watching Bob in. That's number 5 Lambert Court, Athenry, County Galway, and that's us. And the only two that lived there were Leila and Dylan. Joni is our little Kerry girl. She was born here, but and you know what? It's for sale. I'm half thinking of inquiring about it. I think that's a bit mad. All over that estate, there's no house for sale, and it's looking at me going, "Go on, sure, go on, sure." It would be a pretty mad turnaround because we were flat broke in that house, and Joni was born in 2015, so not that long ago. It's a true story. From that house, I was telling a wonderful young man, Colin Keneally, yesterday. I left that house with Scrappy on the lead, and I think it was 20 euros in my hand. And I went down you basically leave Lambert Court and you go down and you go over a humpback bridge. And there's 2 schools left and right of you. There's an old VEC where June used to teach, and there's an old Pres there on the right. They're all being modernized. I mean, it's some town for schools now. Right in front of you is a filling station, a petrol station. And I went down there because one night June was like, "The rads are cold." And I was like, "Oh, the tank was dry." So I went down, and I'd heard before different fellas. I worked in a pub years ago, and there was fellas who'd do anything but, they'd basically spend all their money on drinks. So you'd hear a lot of tricks of the trade and stuff like that from people who didn't have money. And I remember them talking about lifting up the oil tank and putting blocks underneath it to tip all the oil that way. And I remember going, "Oh my God, is this really what's happening? Is this really my life, And I went down with 20 quid, and I remember thinking, there's either going to be a fella here or a woman, and I hope it's the fella, because the woman is a battle axe. And I'd go in and say, "Hi, how are you getting on?" And she'd say, "Petrol, diesel." And I'd say, "Neither. Can I have tea bags, please?" And she'd say, "There you go." And I'd say, "Goodbye, have a nice night." So I was hoping it wouldn't be her. And it was your man, because I wanted to get the full 20, but I didn't have a tank. So to get the tank, they'd charge you a deposit of a tenner. And I didn't want to be embarrassed to say, "Look, I don't have it," So I went down, and I kind of went to the counter, and I goes, "Can I get 20 diesel and I'll need your tank as well?" And I was holding it up like that as if to say, figure it out, because there was a queue behind me. I was like, "Can I get 20 kerosene and just live up the road, and I'll bring the tank right back to you?" And I was like, "Please," And he said, "Oh yeah, I know you." He says, "You're around. I see you walking the dog. I know you." So I took it up, and it really was. It'll be in the autobiography someday. I remember walking back, like really, really just really feeling fairly dejected, to be honest, and just going in and pouring it all in, and then tipping the tank up and bleeding the boiler, and off we went, and we'd oil again. And I remember ordering oil and then saying, "Okay, if I order it here, then they'll bring it that day, and then we'll get paid that day, and then we'll be able to do it that day." And it was shit. Pardon me, it was a crappy situation to be in, but that's the way it was. And it's a mad turnaround, But what do I owe the turnaround to? The pen is mightier than the paradigm. I was in harmony with money from when I was 14 till I was 20, and I never knew anything about loans. I actually ended up getting a loan because I had about 4,000 Irish pounds in savings, and I had a part-time job, and then I fell in love, and we started traveling and going to Edinburgh and buying gifts and eating out in Cork in the nicest restaurants and all that. And that was it. I didn't manage my money well as a 20-year-old man, and next thing I realized, I get my wages, they go in rent and in stuff. That's strange. And then I was like, "You can get a loan." A loan? Really? Okay. And that was the first time I got a loan in down in the South Mall, AIB in the South Mall in 2000. And then I got into harmony with having loans. And that's all it is. It's a paradigm. It's not good or bad. It just is. I say that to a lot of people when they start in the academy. It's not good or bad. It's not up or down. It's not inside or outside. It just is. We wipe the slate clean. And I started wiping the slate clean 6 years ago in 6 years ago. I started wiping the slate clean at 35 years of age. I just got out of harmony with debt, and I got into harmony with income and opulence and growing sources of income. Spoke to a wonderful woman yesterday, and she said, all of a sudden I've got 200 euro extra a month. And I was like, "Do you know what 200 extra a month can do for you? It's what it could bring into your life." She was like, "Yeah, but I want 3 grand a month. I'm getting this amount plus the 200, but I want it to go to 3. The fact that she's thinking about 3 is probably because her paradigm is only allowing her to be aware that she can go to that level, but she can go to 6. But if she desperately had to, or any of you had to go to $6,000 a month, the minute you commit to that and the minute you make a decision for that, you'll start finding the how. So for 18 months, I looked at this kind of stuff from afar. And I realized it required a financial investment to really get into it and to work in it and to have someone helping you with it and guiding you and supporting you and giving you accountability. So that was the stumbling block then, because how can I know I need to invest to learn how to make it work, but how can I get into it? And that's all it is the decision. When you flip your mind to the decision, you'll find what you want. That lady decided she wants $3,000. Now she's gone up by 200 a month, but she'll find the rest to get the three. She will find the rest. And then she'll realize when she gets it, flipping hell, I could have said 4. Because it takes no more effort, no more pressure, no more stress, no more doubt, fear, no more love, joy, happiness. It takes no more to aim high in life than to live with what you're currently living with. And gratitude is a huge transporter of that. I did not know gratitude. We have a beautiful lady in our academy, Joanne, just finished 90 days of writing out one chapter from a book. It's Serenity by James Allen. In 90 days, she's written that whole chapter out every single day. I think by her own admission, she might have missed 1 or 2, but she's pretty much done it consecutively for 90 whole days. It's amazing to do it. It gets into you. It does wonders for you. But I got good old results without knowing anything about gratitude, without knowing anything about serenity. And both of these things, without doing any meditation or none of that. But when you really put that lovely calmness in your life, when you slow down, your results will speed up, because you can process this thinking stuff so much better in a calm, serene, relaxed, grateful, peaceful body. And you've got to stand guard at the doors of your mind. If you get criticism, if you get if you get anyone coming down hard on you, you really have to protect your mind first and then deal with the situation. But you've got to protect your mind first. You've got to stay in control. Remember I told you about Joni hopping off the bed and cutting her head yesterday? I think, a lot of people would have ended up in Tralee General after driving for another hour and a half with Joni screaming in the back of the car. My blood pressure through the roof because I nearly knocked down a lady who ran across in front of us. But no, the thinking and the sprinkling the magic dust and the thinking of how do I want it to be is the result of being in a calm mindset. It's mind over matter, mind over body. Mind first, think first, then act. To be able to control your thinking mind is the greatest gift you'll give yourself, everyone around you, and the generations that will follow you, because your prosperity will increase, your knowledge will increase, you'll pass on really good advice, you'll become an incredible listener, you'll be sprinkling magic dust on them without even having to give them guidance. You're somehow sending them some goodness and some love. I really felt some really good stuff happening the last few weeks. And then one person was lighting candles in one place, another person was getting a mass said in Medjugorje. And I was like, looking back, I'm like, I really felt that, I really think I felt that in the last few weeks. So who knows who knows all the people that are behind you. I can tell you one thing, you've no clue the amount of people that are waiting for you to go towards your goal so that they can be those actors in your movie that come in and make it all happen. That's how it goes. People just fall into your life just at the right time, but they won't if you're not going down that road that they can step out and help you in. So gratitude, serenity, meditation, things like this that can help you to be really still and then process the thinking stuff better, helps you to really live that life whereby you don't need to use any extra energy than you're already using. It's phone calls, it's decisions, it's questions, it's inquiries, it's decisions made again, it's little adjustments. It really is a mindset stuff. It's very much a mindset stuff. When we look at exceptional sports stars, we look at exceptional teams, and we look back to the core of their success, we'll find out that there's a very strong mindset there, because they typically have the same hurleys, the same tennis rackets, they're playing on the same field, they have the same amount of time to train. But those people who they really take over a sport, like at the moment, probably the person who's top of their game when it comes to football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, is an Egyptian man called Mohamed Salah, and he plays with this really incredible team called Liverpool Football Club. And but he really is the top of his game at the moment, and he's getting better too at 27 or 8, and that's That's down to his own extra 1%. And I saw a clip the other day by a goalie from Watford called Ben Foster, and Liverpool had beaten them 5-0. And I can't think how many goals he had scored himself, but he'd scored an absolute, probably going to be one of the goals of the season. But at the end of the game, he went up to the goalie and he covered his mouth like that so that the cameras couldn't pick up on lip reading. And he said, Ben, if I got a penalty today, which side were you going to go on? And Ben was like, what? And he goes, just tell me, what side, if I was going to take a penalty, what decision had you made? Where were you going to go? And he goes, I was going to go to my right. And he goes, thank you, Ben. And he left. And he was like, because he at the end of the game, all 22 players are, waving to the fans, hugging each other, exchanging T-shirts, having a drink of water, doing interviews. That extra little percent made him go up and say, I'm going to learn. What would a goalie have expected from me today? So next week's goalie, what's he expecting? That's that extra percent. That all the other players had the opportunity to ask those kind of questions. Tiger Woods was at the top of his game and he changed his golf swing. Companies like, look at Facebook, it's like all over, it's just huge company, and they're changing their name to Meta, and I know there's other things going on and all that, and let's not even go there. But that's what that little 1% do, but it's the same hours per day that you have. And don't let that pressurize you or make you feel that you're less than. You won't do those extra 1%, those extra 1% things, or you won't do the things the top 1% do until you commit to something that's kind of greater than your present situation. So for those guys in the academy, review your goal today and look at it again, but look at it now with your new eyes, that your 11 days changing. Like the way that woman has noticed the leaves different this year, that's not an accident. Standing in like this morning, we've 3 dogs. 2 of them are little puppies, and one of them is a very old darling. So she's pretty good now, but she's walking around quite slow, and she had a tiny little accident last night. So I walking through, turn on all the lights and make sure. But I kind of forgot myself today, and I just stepped in a little puddle, and I was like, not ideal at all. But immediately I was grateful for her love and friendship that we've had since I got her in 2006. So that's the way. I know that might sound like a funny story, but that's the way I would be going into the most important interview of my life. That's the way I would be today. I'd be thinking about how grateful I am to be here. And that's what it is here. I'm not thinking about, flipping hell, my laptop, why isn't it working and why is it slow? I'm late for my 8 o'clock. No, I'm just thinking about how lucky and blessed I am to have the laptop, the electricity, the people. And I was ready and raring to go, but it just, like it happened to Layla yesterday, the screen just goes blank and then it loads up at the bottom. So just grateful for it, grateful for the electricity, grateful for the laptop, grateful that you're all here, and grateful that you all spent this time with me this morning. So now I'm going to bring it to a close, and I'm going to read some more comments before I do. Thank you for all these comments as well. All right. Mr. Cross, how are you doing, buddy? Okay, I'm on lesson 4 and I'm feeling a major shift already in my mindset. I can't explain it, but I'm feeling so grateful. And what's so great is that I'm so aware of it. Nice. I'm very, very excited. Like Anne, I'm much more productive, getting up so early, feeling very grateful and thankful this morning, looking out at the beautiful sunrise here in West Cork. Okay, thank you for that. That's beautiful for myself and my team to hear you say that this morning. That's why we do what we do. Audrey, hello Audrey. I hope you're still kicking behinds up there in our nation's capital. Audrey is I remember the first time we spoke, and I just got an intuition. I was like, I'm going to move this lady to lesson 6 for a week, and she's just taken off like a rocket since. And Audrey, you deserve all the success, because you seriously plugged into this from the very beginning, and there's no nonsense about you. So I really hope it just continues to go up and up for you, my dear. Sharon, top of the morning to you all. Being grateful from the moment you wake up really sets you up nicely for the day. Yeah, Kay and Amanda told me about the movie, The Shift. Yeah. Wow, you watched it again last week, Amanda. Okay, I'm watching that. I don't want to watch it tonight. I'm going to watch The Shift soon. Deirdre, wouldn't it be amazing to own that house? I know. Well, that's one of my goals, is to own this house outright within 5 years of when we drew down the mortgage. And I remember saying it to the mortgage broker, and he ended up thinking into results, and he was like, Jesus, that's gas. Really? And I was like, absolutely. I'm not going to have 26-year mortgage or something like that. I was like, I'm going to own that house in a few years. And then the financial advisor was like, well, why would you? I was like, because I want to. It's like, okay. So yeah, Deirdre, it would be amazing. I'm not saying no, I'm not discounting it yet. Oh, Amanda, I remember when we had to do that as well when the economy crashed. So grateful now to pick up the phone, order full tank. Yeah, like I love the small things like paying my tax and insurance up front for the year instead of the incremental. These are small little things. Beautiful session today, Declan. Thank you. Off to work now. Well, grateful to have this job. Well, I'm really grateful to know you. You're a really nice person, and safe journey to work. Michael, I'm so happy and grateful now that my health is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael. It's from the inside out, isn't it, Michael? Amanda, Magdalene is here. Steph, hello, Steph. Thank you for your magic words. You needed to reset this morning. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You needed a reset this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I am and I'm not, because if you needed a reset this morning, that's because you're growing. You're growing, Steph, and you're just breaking through something. Amanda, Michael, the main man himself, Mr. Dusan is here. Hey, Dusan, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you here. Ruth, so grateful for the physio treatment I got today. The sinus pain has finally eased after 2 weeks. Ruth, my dear, just here, okay? So, okay, if you do this with your thumb, you'll have a little crease, okay? So get that crease and put it here on this line. Okay, so get that crease and put it there. And when your thumb ends up here, there's now a point. So your thumb on the crease, and there's a point, and come up from below like a lobster squeezing you, and you'll feel, if you get in there, you're going to feel something. It feels like a little pea or a bean. That's a fantastic point. It's one of the main acupuncture points in the body. It's a large intestine 4, it's called, but it's an amazing point for sinus, anything to do with the nose. Same on both sides. You press, you could be watching a movie, press, and I would breathe through the nose. So my sister Carmel isn't a big fan of needles, and the very first time I did an acupuncture needle on her she was up in Galway, and she was really stuck with sinus, and she should drive back down to Adair where she was living. And we got one needle done, and it was the left one, and she was like, I can't, I'm so sore. And the right nostril was clear the whole way down to Adair, and the left one was blocked. So these 4, if you come into my clinic, I go 1, 2, and the 2 points down, not in between the big toe and the second toe, in between the second toe and the third toe, right there as well. You'd pinch them. You put 2 needles in there, 2 needles in here, and whoosh, sinus, bye-bye. It's incredible. But you can do it with acupressure. Do not take needles out of your sewing kit. Go to an acupuncturist for long-term cure. My wife attends a beautician's, and she used to be out of work for a week at a time due to migraine and sinus, and they're all gone now thanks to acupuncture. Okay, so I would recommend it. I do, I really, really do. But the pressure stuff is good as well. Okay, let's see. Did I read all these comments? Yeah, that's good. Someone says incredible session. Thank you. Well, Deirdre, thank you too. I really enjoyed myself this morning, and I'm looking forward to a beautiful day ahead. Now, tomorrow, 1 o'clock Friday, I'll be here to talk to you about the practice number 12, the people who made a difference, which is quite appropriate for the week I just had, saying goodbye to an uncle that I really, 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 the more and more I think of it, how much he helped to make and mold myself. Just more and more aware of it every day that passes by. So I think it's a nice way to wrap up the Friday. And then, yeah, looking forward to the weekend as well. So everybody in the academy will be seeing you throughout the weekend. It's not the end of the week as it normally is on a Thursday. So next week I will be having some people doing a little bit of substitution for me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I believe, because I'm going to the Wim Hof retreat. So I'm going to be, it's so funny that I turned on the shower this morning and I was there waiting for it to warm up. I'm going to be sitting in bats of ice next week, like for ages, but it's a wonderful technique. I did it this morning for 11 minutes and I held my breath for like well over 2.5 minutes. It's incredible. He's a very cool guy, Wim Hof. So it's cold water immersion. It's a type of breathing and mindset. And I think there's going to be yoga and meals and stuff thrown in as well, but it's my birthday present I got from my family. So I'll be here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then the amazing team, Elena, Megan, Dusan, are going to be hopping in and helping me out next week at various occasions. Okay, so thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. Share the magic of gratitude with people. Send that link for the 7 levels of awareness group and tell people to join. I know we've got people catching up. I see women saying, how do I find day 1 and where do I find day 2? So yeah, bring people into our gratitude challenge. They can start today and continue, and we'll take it from there. Bye bye, everybody.